England leading 31 points to 25.
On the 11th of April 1999, Wales played England at Wembley in the last ever Five Nations International. Scott Gibbs scored my favourite Welsh try of all time. But would this try have been scored today under modern conditions? Let's take a look. Now, before we get into this wonderful try, it's important to set some context. With 15 minutes left and a 31-25 lead, England captain Lawrence Dallaglio turns down a shot at the post from this penalty, instead opting for the line-out in the hope of putting their powerful maul to work. But Wales manage to spin the maul and force England to play. Now, with England desperate to put the game to bed, Mike Cack makes use of that 15 in the front line from Wales and goes for a tactic which is common today. But Mark Taylor fields the ball and gives Wales a scrum. Just moments later, with Wales aiming to maintain possession and work up the field, Tim Rodber gives Wales hope with a challenge that today probably sees him get 10 minutes on the naughty step. And thanks to that penalty, Neil Jenkins, a player whose majestic right boot would fit into any era, goes for broke and takes Wales just outside the English 22. So, would this incredible try, complete with a three-man line-out, a juggling Scott Quinnell and a step-in, skip-in and flying Scott Gibbs, have been scored today? We'll start our analysis at the line-out. Wales have opted for three-man line-out, with Garen Jenkins throwing in and Chris Wyatt as the target. Now, this setup is pretty rare in any era, and Wales use that to their advantage. Prop Victor Obogu can be seen here leaving the line-out just moments before Jenkins throws in, taking him out of the game. And that late adaptation means that England haven't quite got themselves set, leaving Wyatt to take the ball cleanly and feed Howley without any pressure. And outside the line-out, the Welsh attack setup is really interesting. Instead of being set up centre field like we'd often see, number 8 Scott Quinnell and prop Andrew Lewis are both stood inside the 15-metre line, with Neil Jenkins in his more conventional first receiver position. And as we'll cover in a moment, we've got Colin Chavis, Brett Sinkinson and Mark Taylor set as the centre field. So how does all of this compare to what we see today? Well, there's quite a few differences that I think are worth considering. For example, England have got 7 players stood inside the 50-metre line, with scrum half Matt Dawson in the attacking 9 position, hooker Richard Cockrell in the 5-metre channel, and no extra player with Dallaglio at the back. Now, this is pretty different to the modern setup. From this recent fixture, you can see Ben Youngs is in the 5-metre channel, with Sam Underhill stood at the tail, ready to act as the link between the line-out and the back line. However, I don't think these differences are enough to cause a try. In fact, early in the first half, Wales run another version of the three-man line-out, and this time Dallaglio is holding the tail and Dawson is in the backfield. In this example, and for 77 minutes, the England defence had been unbreakable in the middle of the field, and despite the best efforts of Jenkins, Gibbs and Quinnell, the English just had them covered. And this for me is the genius of the try, and the biggest difference from this setup to today's game. Unlike modern defences, the focus on line speed and getting to the game line quickly, before then chopping their feet and holding square to enable them to defend inside and out. The England defence in 1999 was based on a drift that moved more slowly but importantly didn't chop before contact, and so didn't react quite as well to late changes of direction. So Wales, having painted a picture all game, used the drift to their advantage with a rugby league play they called trifecta. Now, rather than Jenkins receiving the pass off Howley as he'd done all game, Quinnell slides across in front of Jenkins and continues to drift hard, juggling the ball, which brings the England defence up over the gain line. But importantly, the inside defence is focused on Colin Chavis running straight, Richard Hill is lining up Quinnell, and the outside defence has the distraction of Sinkinson behind and Mark Taylor outside. So when Scott Gibbs hits a late, sharp angle, he catches Rodber off balance, steps off his left foot into the hole left by Hill biting on Quinnell, before then brushing away Neil back, gliding past the ankle tap of Dawson, and using incredible balance and agility to break the tackle of Perry before in one movement skipping around Handley to score the finest of tries. And that try then put Wales in a position to win the last ever Five Nations game, just needing Neil Jenkins to knock over the extra points for the win. So, would that try have been scored today? Well, for me, the timing of Scott Quinnell's pass, the sharpness and pace of Scott Gibbs' line, and the utterly sublime footwork to beat a further 4 tacklers is timeless and would light up any rugby field any time. If you'd like to see another classic try breakdown, please do leave a comment below. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow.
As he stuck it over, and indeed he has. That, well, can you imagine a more dramatic closing sequence? It's not over yet.